So just a quiet walk on a fall day. Little, actually, graveyard. And if you don't know the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery, let me educate you just a little bit. By the way, 1914. A graveyard is where they bury the dead next to a church. The churchyard, graveyard. A cemetery is where the graves are not located adjacent to a church. And that's the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery. So if you, and I learned this, I didn't know it, something I had learned, but if you look for cemeteries, which I did, cemeteries near me, this one did not show. I just happened upon this because I looked for cemeteries and not graveyards. I love these old stones. To me, it's just a lot of history, fascinating history, and the architecture of the stones itself is fascinating to me. And then back in the day, the little lamb was always on the headstones of the infant graves. Little cross there. And this, there must have been some kind of little erosion taking place over the years for this to have slid down so far. It's kind of troubling. Died 1904, so 115 years ago. Who knows what that road would have been back then. But a lot of the markers were simple crosses. And they just laid out. And a lot of them are stones are so eroded there's very little left of them. But here we go, 1834 to 1887, did not even live into the 20th century. And of course, another child's grave, 2 years of age roughly, safe in the arms of Jesus, the Willis family. And infant mortality is what brought down the statistics of longevity back in those days. And there's just some, just like this one, surrounded in stones there. It's just the architecture, and you can notice the difference between these, 1812 to 1880. They were born 7 years before Alabama even gained statehood. When they were born, Alabama was still a territory, not even a state yet. So, not a huge cemetery. Country cemetery. It's out here by a church. 1875 to 1911, 25, 35, 36 years of age, young. And 1936, John Henderson Payne. So, wow. And Teresa and Savannah, Sis Beulah. And then some of these markers you just cannot see. I'm going to circle back around here. Kennedy family. There were Kennedys in Alabama. In fact, these, you can't hardly read those. Oh, somebody, it's a little statuette with its angel. The head is gone. Kennedy. So anyway, I used to play music instead of narrating my way through these videos. And then it was suggested by more than one of my viewers to, the music is getting on my nerves. Talk, I'd rather hear you talk. It's like, oh God, who wants to hear me talk? Marzie Kennedy. W.F. Kennedy. Mars-E did not make it into the 20th century. Whew. And then you see how, I don't know, it's just a difference. You know, then we got into these plain Jane headstones, and this is kind of what we got. Kind of goes downhill from there. Not, you know, it literally downhill, not. Gotta watch how you word things, right? So, you know, even before I started videoing many years ago, back in the 70s, I enjoyed the solitude, the peacefulness of walking through a graveyard. Charles Martin, born 1878 and died 1899, must have been Civil War. It says infantry, best I can tell, 12, and would have been 21 years of age. Is that right? Just had turned 21 years of age. Robert Martin, 72, 1872, 28, 37 years of age. And then there's more Martins here, and then smaller graves here. Infant daughter, they abbreviated that, I guess, to save money. They wanted a marker, but they had to abbreviate it because they probably charged per letter to engrave that stone. Infant daughter of Lloyd and Sudie Jenkins, died 1918. Kind of suggesting they were maybe died immediately or were born dead or whatever. These are infant graves here. The flowers are kind of covering. Ruby, infant daughter, born and died November 8, 1925. It kind of keeps things in perspective. Always has for me. Let me put it that way, is that you go through and it's like, you know, there we go. All right, there's a little bit more I wanted to get here as I continue on the way they did these graves. It's kind of fascinating. 71, Luther Jenkins, Carrie Ripley Jenkins, and okay, hold on. Jimmy, interesting the way they did this here. Okay. Oh, okay. Had my GPS on my phone still talking to me. Must have born and died the same day, another infant, in the way they did these. 1945. And then there's a couple I wanted to look at across the street here. Wilbanks, Etherton, and whatever these are here. Okay, let's go. Like a journey, a couple of interesting ones across the street here. Most of them are newer, but they're, I guess, different graveyards, different cemeteries have different rules of how they want everything done. Pamela K. Weems. These are pretty newer. But it's, believe it or not, it's peaceful as you walk through here. And this is what some people do here. I love my baby girls, Alice and Pam. Frances McDill Madden. And 2001, and Vera Beatrice Pope. Pope is, I'm gonna say a real common name, but it's a semi-common name here in Alabama. All right, and here's an interesting couple of them I wanted to get here. Okay, I guess this guy liked to play, only God knows why, Steve Rockhart. And I guess he liked to play cards. They got the cards on the, on the stone there, so I guess that was kind of his thing. And 33 years? Is that it? 33 years of age. Just under 33, really, huh? But here's the one that kind of caught my attention here. This one right here. Grimes. Look at that butterfly. Wow. So Mary Grimes died in 2003, and this is interesting because I'm finding some. Usually the female outlives the male, but I'm finding a lot of these tombstones out of here are kind of going a different route. This is William Horace and Lucille Griffin, Krista Michelle Pitts, 2015, and she was young too, 30. Wow. Yep, people still die young and old both. These are really, if you see this structure here that they've got for the Bordens and the Martins, and Stevens. Elders must be some family out here. I saw elders in other parts of the cemetery or graveyard. Let me get this right. This is a graveyard. Now here I'm coming across one that doesn't have a marker yet. Looks like a recent burial. Okay. That about wraps this one up. County, I'm not far. I'm in the vicinity. I'm probably in the same zip code as Ohatchee. And this is right next to that little old church right there, that frame church. You'll find a lot of these grave sites have these artifacts. There's one in Calera, which I hadn't really done a film of. I guess I should. It's got, whew, they have a like a tailgate thing there at that cemetery. About once a month I catch them there. But here's another way. Eloise Rochester, and died on the 17th of December. And yeah, oh, I missed this. Just interesting little things here. The stones. And I guess it's some indication as what these people were into. I don't know, but even is that a shark or a porpoise or whatever? Little artifacts. Our hearts still ache in sadness, and secret tears still flow. What it means to lose you, no one will ever know. Okay, there is that little graveyard here out in the middle of nowhere near Ohatchee, Alabama.